Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and welcome back to the work session on the capital budget wrap-up. We're going to begin with a presentation from Mr. Levchenko.
Yes, and if council staff could bring up the presentation now. While they're doing that, I just wanted to provide some thanks to OMB staff for all their assistance, especially over the last few weeks, and continuing assistance over the last few days and today. Especially Mary Beck, who's actually on the call here, and Veronica Jawa and Anita Aryeti, all from OMB. So I just wanted to thank them. They've really been a big help to Glenn and myself. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, so just to summarize the reconciliation, and I will note Councilmember Rice's email is incorporated into this. So what we tried to do was, as much as possible, keep a lot of the background information here that was still relevant, and then we've made changes throughout the rest to accommodate his recommendations, and I'll note those as we go along. First, just to summarize the gap we were dealing with at reconciliation this year, 173.7 million. Of course, this was a moving target, but this is the number that was basically hitting us around the time that we had to switch over from council reviews to reconciliation. And this is a historically large gap. And Dr. Orlin, of course, has the institutional memory and history. He can give you the gory details about that. But this is a much larger gap than normal and did require a lot more adjustments, cuts, deferrals, et cetera, than would be typical. And just to exemplify that, the GEO bond gap in here, which is most of it, about 170 million of this gap, it reflects about 10% of total GEO bond funded expenditures. So that's a big reduction. And the obvious question one would ask is, what's going on? Why do we have this big gap? And further down the slide, I note, obviously we have whatever expenditure recommendations and actions were made to date. But you know, those are, of course, occur as we're moving through the process. But more particularly to this year, we had the reduced PAYGO assumption for FY22. I know the council has discussed this a lot, but in a regular year, we would our fiscal policy goal is 10% of bonds planned for issue, and that would be about $32 million or so each year, or 31.5. Because of the reduction in 22 recommended by the executive in January and March, we're dealing with 15.5 million less in FY22 than we would otherwise have. Now, of course, that benefits the operating budget. It provides additional resources for the operating budget, but it does mean fewer resources assumed up front for the CIP in FY22. And then the biggest issue that we've had to deal with, especially focusing back on the approved CIP as a baseline, are the impact tax and recordation tax projections for FYs 22 through 26. And the combined write-down for those to date is about $124 million compared to the original approved CIP. So once again, those are big numbers, and that's really driving much of the gap that we're seeing. And of course, the reconciliation goal that I mentioned here is to close both the 6-year funding gap, the 173.7 million, but also balance each of the years. So the spending affordability process does also assume that you balance in each year. Next slide, please. So this year is a little bit different. It's an off year of the CIP. So every other year, we go through a process where we're going through amendments rather than a full review of the CIP. So only those projects that are put forth as amendments can be deferred or cut for fiscal reasons. So that does limit things a little bit in the off year. And also that's also reflective of the fact that we are trying to do more marginal adjustments in the off year and revisit the full CIP every other year. So this year there is a focus on more incremental reductions and deferrals where possible.
Hey, Keith?
Yeah.
Can I just ask, is there, this is very helpful, is there also a memo people should be looking at or packet?
I did distribute that to council staff, but and that's a good point. I wasn't sure if the council president wanted that to be released yet. It's available to be released if you'd like it to be released right now.
If it's updated and current, yeah, we should. I think so chiefs that are watching and have a memo should probably share it with their bosses. That would be great.
Yeah, it would be.
My chief of staff doesn't have a memo, so
No,
I don't know
it
if
is
they
not.
can resend it.
No, it is. We were working on it, up until this meeting, and understand that there could be further changes. So that is a good point. I wanted to make sure that the council wanted the memo distributed, which is based purely on the reconciliation to date with Mr. Rice's suggested adjustments this morning. So if that's the case, we can have that released, and we can have staff email it to all of the council members right now.
That would be great. Thank you, Keith.
I ask Dr. Orland if he could notify Ms. Marin. She has a copy, or if you want to email it to folks.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Okay, so that should be available shortly. And everything in this presentation is in that memo, and vice versa. So there's nothing different.
Thank you, Keith.
Okay, sure. Real quickly, just I don't want to dwell on a lot of these assumptions, but we do try to give weight to previously approved projects and more weight per se than new spending or project accelerations. And also new this year, where applicable, we in the reconciliation process, we did try to identify projects within equity emphasis areas as defined by the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments. So that did come up in a few cases, and we did try to, where there was a connection, we tried to make that in reconciliation. Next slide, please. Okay, this is getting to the crux of the issue with regard to Councilmember Rice's discussion this morning. One of the issues we have to deal with each year is state aid for school construction. As part of that discussion this morning, Councilmember Rice suggested assuming higher levels of state aid in the years we would need it in order to move forward with several projects. And so staff has incorporated that into the reconciliation, and this is the result with regard to the state aid itself. And you can see the approved CIP has state aid showing from 21 through 26. We're not showing any change in 21, of course, but now you do see in the reconciliation changes in 22 through 26 to accommodate some of those project adjustments that Councilmember Rice had suggested. You'll see the overall total increase in the 6 years is about $15.3 million. That actually equates exactly to the Northwood High School dollars being kept within the 6-year CIP. The rest of the dollars are adjustments between fiscal years related to a number of projects or several projects going up and down, which we can talk about later. And I did want to note in particular that in FY22, we have about $44 million approved by the state in our base state aid. And the approved state aid for FY22 is 58.7. So that was originally about a $14.9 million gap that we were originally assuming to be accommodated through additional dollars received from Built to Learn. With the additional projects moved into these years, that would add about $10 million to the funding need in FY22. So that means we would need to get about $25 million credited in Built to Learn dollars in 22. So that's just one example of 22. And then, of course, the dollars also go up in 23 and 24, but then they also correspondingly go down in 25 and 26, just from the normal flow of the projects. Next slide, please. So just summarizing, this gets to the broader reconciliation. The things that are recognized in this reconciliation to get us balanced. First, we did have one piece of good news with regard to current FY21 recordation tax and impact taxes. They are running higher than approved, so we have some dollars we can attribute, additional resources we can attribute into FY22. So that is assumed in this reconciliation. Then, of course, there's a lot of technical adjustments and updates to projects, often delays that happen in projects in the course of business, and those are reflected in this reconciliation as well. Those are based on the latest information we get from agency and department project managers. So wherever possible, we want to reflect the latest information and the best information. And then another element to this reconciliation is we do have some capability to adjust or make modifications to the bond targets in spending affordability. And I'll talk about that actually in the next slide real quick. Next slide, please. So the reconciliation does assume some significant adjustments in the bonds planned for issue. However, it is still consistent with the Council's approved spending affordability guidelines because there's no change in the 6-year total. And the first 2 years, in this case FY21 and 22, are still at or below the approved targets. So that means it doesn't require any additional vote by the Council to change spending affordability. However, there are some significant adjustments up and down, and most notably in FY26, there's a substantial reduction to accommodate additional dollars needed in 23, 24, and 25. That's in addition to a very big reduction in 21, which started with the executive's budget that came over and was continued by through this reconciliation. And that does have some other implications. We have to adjust PAYGO to stay at the 10% level in those out years and inflation, but those are just adjustments we have to make as part of this. Next slide, please. So just to summarize, and before we get into the actual projects, if you do the revenue adjustments we talked about, the surplus revenue, you recognize the technical adjustments and production delays, you do the expenditure cuts and deferrals that we'll get at in a minute, and you adjust the bonds planned for issue, then you can balance the CIP with all those elements. And then, of course, there are set-asides that we assume in the CIP to provide some flexibility for future spending. Those set-asides are actually a little bit lower this year than in past years. The slide notes we're at about 5.9% of funds available for programming. Normally, we're in the 6s or maybe close to 7%. So that's a little bit lower, but that's what we're able to do this year. Next slide, please. So now I want to get into the individual agencies and projects, and this will start pretty quickly, but then we're going to start to get into some more substantive issues. First, with regard to Montgomery College, Montgomery Parks, and Montgomery County Government non-transportation, the reconciliation does not make any non-technical or production delay adjustments. So we did not make any substantive changes to any projects that were not already touched by the executive or the council before that. So whatever was preliminarily supported by the council or straw voted by the council, that remains for these. And then there, as I noted here, there are some projects that, based on discussions with CIP managers, they've been adjusted accordingly to reflect reality, but not any other substantive or changes for fiscal reasons. Next slide, please. I'm getting into the transportation projects. This just lists the technical adjustments to a number of projects, once again based on production delays, not based on any policy or fiscal action by the council. Next slide, please. Now we're getting into the actual projects and the delays or changes made to them. And what we've tried to do here is show where the executive was on the project, where the initial council straw vote was, and where it is with reconciliation. And you can see with the first project, Observation Drive Extended, good example. The executive had a substantial delay in this project of 3 years. The council straw vote was no delay. And then in reconciliation, which this project has bounced around a bit, the delay under this current reconciliation is a 1 year delay of land and construction and a half year of delay of design. So it's a little bit shorter than some of the discussions we previously had. It's still a faster schedule than recommended by the executive, but not quite as fast as the council straw vote. And then you've got a number of other projects. Forest Glen Passageway, similar story in a way. The executive recommended delaying it 2 years. The council straw vote was 1 year, plus a substantially higher cost to be reflected. The reconciliation was to delay the design a year and the land and construction 2 years, basically do what the straw vote was. White Flint North Metro entrance, the executive recommended delaying it by 1 year. The council also was there to delay it 1 year. Reconciliation, same thing, but also representing a slightly smaller placeholder cost, 1/4 of the cost rather than 1/3. Next slide, please. Several other projects. Council President Hucker, if you want me to go faster, I will. I'm assuming the council members do want to understand each of these projects, so I'm going to sort of go through them.
I think you're doing great. No one's complaining, Keith. So
okay, great. That's good to know. Ride-on bus fleet. The executive recommended buying 20 electric buses in FY22 and 10 each in FYs 23 and 24. The council straw vote was similar, basically supporting that approach. The reconciliation.
No, Keith, I'm sorry. The difference in the council straw vote is they wanted to buy 20 electric buses both in 22 and 23.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn's a little closer to this than me, I will admit. And then the
We
reconciliation.
added 10 buses. Sorry to interrupt. We added 10 electric buses.
Right.
Right.
And then the reconciliation was assumed to buy the 20 electric buses in 22, 15 in 23, and 10 in 24. So 5 fewer buses in I guess FY23.
5 more than proposed by the executive's budget, 5 less than the
5 less than the council straw vote, right?
Correct.
So it depends what your baseline is. But you're seeing the trend. Generally, the executive was at one level. The council generally was trying to either accelerate things or add, and reconciliation is often trying to sort of split the difference to make things work. The Capitol Crescent Trail Tunnel, the executive recommended delaying it at least 2 years. The council straw vote was no delay. The reconciliation assumes a delay of 1 year. And this project does appear at the edge of the CIP, so it does affect the 6-year total in the CIP. And then the Goldsboro Road Sidewalk and Bikeway, the executive recommended delaying 2 years. Council straw vote was no delay, and the reconciliation was to delay it 1 year. Next slide.
Didn't the executive take the CCT out? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
The 2+ years did push it beyond 6 years. He was showing the full money for it in the beyond 6-year period. Mm-hmm. But because of that, we didn't know whether it was a 2-year delay or a many-year delay. Mm-hmm. Yes, he did ask the state, is there a way of being able to do the project, to do a single tracking through the tunnel and not have to spend this money? But his formal proposal still showed the money, but it showed it beyond FY26. So, beyond FY26 can mean anything from FY27 to forever. So that's why we say 2+ years.
Right. Next, yeah, good. Okay, this slide we have some of the systemic work in transportation. The executive had recommended an acceleration of $1 million in the resurfacing and residential rural project from FY24 to 22, and the council supported that. The reconciliation is a little bit different. We're recommending accelerating some additional dollars from 22 to 21. This is because we turned out we had a bit of a gap in 22 that we needed to fill, and there was some extra space in 21. So resurfacing is one of those things that you can adjust fairly quick. And in fact, the reality is it would be done perhaps in June rather than July of this year. So it's effectively doing the same thing, but it helps the numbers work.
And to effectuate this, you need to have a supplemental appropriation, and that's what you introduced this morning. So you'll be acting on that next, when the day of the budget, May 27th, to be able to allow DOT to have the authority to spend that $409,000.
And then you still have the million assumed to be accelerated from 24 to 22.
Right. In a sense, though, that million that was moved forward, 409,000 is further accelerated in FY21.
Right. So the two actions combined reduce the 22 impact. Yeah.
Right.
And then in sidewalk and curb replacement, the executive had recommended acceleration from 24 to 22, 500,000. The council also supported that. And Glenn, help me with the reconciliation here.
Yeah, I think we filled this out in the last hour. I think I left off a piece on this one. The reconciliation, I believe we're still wanting to accelerate 500,000 for FY24 to 22, and then we reduced in FY24 through 26 a net of 686,000. So it's a net reduction, but we needed to do that to balance out the years. It's actually relatively small compared to the size of this project.
Okay, and next slide, please. All right, so that's it for transportation. Now I'm going to move to schools, and then we can open up the discussion. Just real quick to provide a quick summary.
Keith, just because there's a little bit of confusion, Keith, can you clarify? This is the proposed reconciliation. We're going to get to Councilmember Rice's in the E&C committee's memo, and then subsequently we'll get to any other memos, like the other one from the four council members.
Yeah, Councilmember Rice's memo. And actually, I think Dr. Orland and I can address that sort of right at the conclusion of how it's incorporated in. And we've already sort of passed through a couple things, but we'll circle back to that at the conclusion of this. Regarding the school CIP.
Your intent was to include?
Yes.
Sorry, Keith. I want to keep up with your fertile mind here. Your intention was to include all the elements of the E&C memo in this presentation, in these slides?
Yes. The state aid discussion we had earlier showed the impact of those changes, and then the text that we're getting into with these projects. In some cases, projects were removed from this because they were affected by Councilmember Rice's memo. So, but we can talk more directly about it once we get through this, I think, and make that clear.
The short of it is that Councilmember Rice's memo, the proposal there, are all incorporated in this version of the reconciliation.
Well, except that the Bowie Mill bikeway is not, but it was in the memo that was that Councilmember Rice, meaning the Education and Culture Committee, distributed this morning. So that is not in there.
Actually, it is now. I mean, it's a fast-moving thing, and so yes, Bowie Mill is not. In the previous couple slides, when Keith showed the changes in transportation, maybe you noticed that there was no reduction in Bowie Mill. So no, Bowie Mill is included in this.
Okay, thank you.
Right, that's the other thing, is we're not showing projects that were unchanged in some way. So it gets a little confusing. But getting to the school CIP, and I think this will be fairly clear at least for the schools. Just a quick summary, the executive had recommended about a $1.61 billion amended CIP for MCPS. But within that was about a $54 million undesignated reduction. So we did start with a gap in January. Now where we landed with this CIP reconciliation, we're at about 1.62 billion, about a little over 9+ million more for MCPS. And the substantive reductions, not any technical reductions, to the MCPS proposed CIP add up to about 37.1 million across the 6 years. So the reconciliation was a little kinder to MCPS than the executive was. Now the executive didn't designate the cuts, but of course we have to. So you'll see that in a minute. And then I've noted the technical adjustments here. In a couple cases, we actually accelerated dollars based on reality, even though there was no change in scope or timing for Kennedy High School Edition and Odessa Shannon Middle School Edition facility upgrade. And then with the Wooten High School major capital project, we shifted $5 million from FY26 to beyond 6 years. Once again, there's no assumed change in scope or timing. These were items provided to us by MCPS. Next slide, please. So getting to the meat of it, the CIP amendments proposed by the board that are included in the reconciliation are listed here, including Bethesda Elementary School Edition and Westbrook. Those two projects are obviously linked, with Bethesda having the space issue, but now Westbrook becoming the solution to that. And so the Bethesda project is, the expenditures are removed. The Westbrook project is added to address Bethesda's space needs. And that actually provides some savings in the 6-year CIP. And then we have a cost neutral change with regard to Crest Haven Elementary School and Roscoe Nix additions, their expenditures being removed. And instead, to address the capacity issues at Joanne Lalek at Broad Acres, which those two schools were going to do, the school system has, based on the costs that they were seeing from the Crest Haven and Roscoe Nix additions, revisited the concept and felt a new school would be a better value and at the same cost. So those three projects are also incorporated into the reconciliation, but don't have an impact on the dollars. The Highland View Elementary School Edition, the board requested to add construction dollars. The project exists in the CIP, but only with planning and design. The board requested construction with completion in September 2025, and that is included in this reconciliation. Oh, and I did want to note this project is in an equity emphasis area, so it was one of those projects where we had a connection with the new lens we're trying to apply to projects. Similarly, I forgot to mention with Joanne Lalek, that school is also in an equity emphasis area. The next one, William Tyler Page Elementary School Edition. This project's in the CIP. The board is requesting an acceleration of 1 year of completion 1 year to September 2023. And that has been incorporated into the reconciliation. And that is a change related to Councilmember Rice's suggestion this morning that the council members were amenable to. The Silver Spring International School, the scope and timing is proposed to be revised. The scope significantly reduced, actually, and the timing pushed back because they want to revisit the project. So that has at least initial reduction in the CIP, and that's reflected in this reconciliation. And then the major capital projects in the elementary project, the board requested accelerating the completion of both Stonegate Elementary School, which would be completed in September 2023 instead of January 2025, and Woodland Elementary School, which would be accelerated a year into September 2023. You may recall last year was the first year that we had a fully funded proposal from the schools for these elementary schools, plus Burnt Mills and South Lake. And the council was able to accommodate Burnt Mills at this time last year, and then came back to South Lake in the fall and was able to make South Lake work. The Stonegate and Woodland Elementaries, the board is requesting to try to get those back on the schedules that they had initially proposed for them last year. And actually, Stonegate would be a little bit faster than last year because they don't have a holding school issue that they were dealing with last year. But this would mean all 4 schools would be completed in September 2023. And those are incorporated into the reconciliation. Next slide, please. And then we have Woodward and Northwood. These were not proposed for amendment this year. That's why I didn't include them on the prior list. But they did come back into the mix as part of MCPS's non-recommended reductions. Those non-recommended reductions were provided to the council in response to the Education and Culture Committee's request for MCPS to identify how they would get closer to the executive's total number. You'll recall the $54 million undesignated reduction. And so the school's response was to delay Woodward and Northwood both 1 year, and also to make some significant reductions in their HVAC, PLR, and roof projects in the out years. So that's why these projects came up. And as part of reconciliation, and we had this discussion earlier this morning, a lot of discussion about Northwood, but first getting to Woodward, the Woodward project is assumed to be kept on schedule in this reconciliation, although there are some expenditure shifts done to reflect reality. A significant reduction in expenditures in 21, moving into 22 and later years, and that's been incorporated into this reconciliation. And then with the Northwood High School addition, this project was a bit harder to fit in the CIP. It had dollars in years that were very difficult. But based on Councilmember Rice's discussion this morning about assuming higher state aid, we moved Northwood up back to its proposed schedule, and based on the dollars affected by that, and I mentioned Page earlier, I believe, we had to accommodate those by showing additional state aid, and that was the state aid the state aid chart that I showed earlier. So based on those actions, both Woodward and Northwood would be kept on their approved schedules going forward. Next slide, please. So the changes that remain after the initial reconciliation that was discussed with council members, and then Councilmember Rice's suggestion regarding moving state aid around, we have basically the systemic projects changing. And there's actually two different pieces of each of these to talk about. The board had requested amendments to increase the spending in these projects in FY22, and the council was supportive of that, and reconciliation reflects those increases. So HVAC would increase by $5 million in 22, PLR by 3.2 million, and roof replacement by 1 million. However, as part of their non-recommended reductions, they had presented reductions to us in FYs 25 and 26, pretty substantial reductions. And in order to make the CIP reconciliation work, the reconciliation does assume to take reductions. In fact, they're slightly higher, or not slightly, they're higher than the non-recommended reductions, but once again, they're in the out years of the CIP, starting in 25 and 26 for HVAC, 24, 25, and 26 for PLR, and 25 and 26 for roofs. But given those are pretty far out, those are areas we can review again as part of the full CIP next year. So that's a summary of the MCPS or the MCPS portion of the reconciliation, and you heard the transportation portion of the reconciliation. And the impact of Councilmember Rice's suggestions earlier was really focused on the changes in state aid to make that work. So with that, I think unless Glenn has something to add, I think we can see if there's questions or further discussion folks would like to have about any elements of this reconciliation.
Nothing to add.
Okay, questions from colleagues?
Well, it's not a question. I just wanted to.
There we go.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
go ahead.
So thank you very much,
right.
Mr. President, and thank you very much to Keith and Glenn for your incredible work. As I said at the outset before, this was not easy at all. I really want to thank Mary Beck and her team as well, the team from MCPS, continuing to all work together to really try and find common ground that would allow us to move forward. And I especially want to thank, because the idea And the whole impetus for this actually came from the Education and Culture Committee and the Council President. And so I really want to thank Councilmember Navarro, Councilmember Giwando, and you, Council President Hucker, for really initially grasping this and really having us push this forward. And then I really want to thank all of my colleagues who, again, have to, navigate last minute to make these kinds of things happen. But I've had a chance to talk to some of you back channel and just really do appreciate your understanding, your support in terms of what we're trying to do and accomplish here. And I promise you, as I said before, that I will work tirelessly, not just with our state representatives, but also with our federal delegation as well, understanding that as we look for some sort of infrastructure package that comes out, we're actually very blessed here in Montgomery County to have Senator Van Hollen, who's on appropriations, and Congressman Trone, who's also on appropriations on both sides of the House, to be able to really try and push forth a great outcome for Montgomery County. And so with that, I again just want to thank you, Mr. President, thank all of the staff for their continued work. And last but certainly not least, I do want to thank my Chief of Staff, Sharon Ledner, who's done an incredible job of helping to navigate through this. Sharon, I can't thank you enough for all of your great work. This is tremendous. So back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so we have a recommended CI, Councilmember Friedson.
Sure. Are we going to approve this first and then amend it, or are we going to go through amendments and then approve it overall? This is the only thing before us.
My sense was that we have to amend the reconciled CIP. Staff, am I wrong?
Yeah.
We need a
You're
motion.
you're correct.
Yeah.
This would be the appropriate time for Mr. Friedson to make his motion.
No,
No?
you mean Chairman Rice to make his motion first on the
Oh, I
ENC
thought-
memo.
I think the packet is the only thing that's before us. I thought. I just wanted to clarify.
The packet
That
incorporates.
includes Councilmember Rice's
Beg your pardon.
recommendation. So I was going to just suggest mine as an amendment to that, if that is okay with you, Council President.
Yes, you're right. Boy, a lot happened over lunch. Okay. Councilmember Friedson, do you want to explain your motion?
Sure. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Rice and colleagues. First of all, I think residents got a window into the sausage making process today. This has been quite a whirlwind for all of us, I believe, and everybody got a front row seat into all of these decisions. I just wanted to thank everyone on the council. Thank you, Council President. Thank colleagues. In light of the conversation this morning and better understanding the proposal and suggestions in some of the thoughts behind them, that we're taking a different approach and a different thought process to what we expect for potential state aid, what the anticipation is with some of the conversations that the Education and Culture Committee and the Education and Culture Chair has had with MCPS, some of the items that are going to be forthcoming. In light of that, several colleagues, Council Members Reamer, Glass, Council Vice President Albernas, and I sent around a memo and are suggesting that we, in order to maintain the commitment that we made last year in the current CIP as it is about to be amended, and the straw vote that we took related to the Capitol Crescent Trail tunnel, that we keep that on schedule, noting state and federal aid for the fiscal year 25 year. So it'd be fiscal year 25, 21 million, fiscal year 26, 21.5 million. Dr. Orland will correct me if I have misstated that, but I believe that is the what is currently in the approved CIP. I would keep that on the current schedule, noting the fact that we are not moving dirt on this project in fiscal year 22. So this maintains the commitment, understanding that we continue to hope that we will have the funds available for all of these projects, and I will move that forward. And before I do, I'll just note on Northwood and Woodward, those are huge priorities of mine. I know they've been major priorities of this entire council, given they're not just cluster projects, they are regional and almost county-wide projects, given the number of communities that they recognize. And so I appreciate the fact that we're finding a way to address these various priorities and are able to move them forward, recognizing that this is consistent with the decisions that we discussed this morning, are about to make now, and the prior votes and decisions that we have made. So I'll move that, and if I could turn to Dr. Orland to fill in any blanks if I missed anything.
Second.
We need a second, Bruce. Second from Councilmember Reamer. Okay, Dr. Orland.
Yeah, I think Mr. Friesen said it pretty well. The idea here is to restore the Capitol Crescent Trail schedule to what it is in the approved CIP, which is 21 million FY25, 21.5 in FY26. I'm sorry, I've been working off my iPhone and sometimes I get calls. But show the money in FY25 as being state aid, and in the fiscal note for the PDF would say this schedule is contingent upon receiving state and/or other non-county funds to move the project forward. That way, it doesn't affect the GO bond levels, the spending affordability, or really anything else. So that's the proposal.
That's the motion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Council Vice President Albornoz.
Thank you, Mr. President. This does present very creative thinking. Appreciate it. Everybody's been light on their feet on this to adjust. And as the chair noted earlier, we've had to be light on our feet for a year and a half now on a variety of different issues. So this does, I think it was appropriate to say that this is, in fact, how the sausage is made sometimes. But I'll just note two things, and I'm going to support this. I think it makes a lot of sense given where we are and given what I think is more than just hope in terms of receiving both some of the state and federal funds. It's appropriate for us to be a little bit more aggressive in this CIP. But as somebody who hopes to still be around on this body in 2026, when hopefully the chickens won't come home to roost, we can't do this again. This is an unusual year in an unusual time. And clearly we need to move these projects forward, but this obviously is not sustainable moving forward. And as Chair Navarro mentioned in her comments so aptly and so well, this is unusual, but it derivates very much from past practice of this body, but demonstrates nimbleness in the time that we are in right now. So we look forward to voting on the full CIP, where the picture will be even more clear at that point, just a year from now, and we will have to continue to manage difficult expectations and priorities across the board, as we always do. But I think this does, at this moment in time, represent an important step forward. So thank you, everyone, for your leadership on it, and especially, as Chairman Rice noted, our staff, who did a great job in turning this around so quickly. So thank you. I yield back to you, Mr. President.
They really did. Thank you, Council Vice President Albornoz. Anyone else? Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor of the change described by Councilmember Friesen, please raise your hand. That is Councilmember Rice, Councilmember Friesen, Councilmember Juando, Albornoz. Okay, that is unanimous now. Terrific. Okay, and all those in favor of the capital budget as amended and reconciled, I don't know if it's the internet or it's me, please raise your hand. That is definitely unanimous. Great. Okay. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much, Keith and Glenn. You were very nimble and light on your feet. No question about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say I'm really proud of this entire council and how you've adjusted. This was a sort of last minute suggestion. We've taken a very difficult situation during a very difficult year, and I think we've shown real leadership. And I hope, as you said, Council Vice President, the chickens don't come to roost, because I think this actually accurately reflects a lot of things we've been talking about for years. I think we're working under essentially new rules regarding our state and federal partners, and I really hope that that we work together in the future as collaboratively as we have this year, and we see as much support from them and our state and federal governments really meeting their obligations to this county in the way that we have envisioned and called for years. So I think it's perfectly appropriate to both reflect that in the CIP and to help our residents understand that Montgomery County doesn't have the deepest pockets in this whole arrangement. And that if there was a restaurant called School Construction and we were dining with our state and federal partners, we shouldn't lunge for the check first. They should. I think this is a very appropriate new way to reflect our approach to the capital budget, and I think our residents are going to be better for it. We have to work very closely, of course, with our Board of Education, our state and federal leaders, and follow up on the commitments we're making today and the expectations we're setting. But I know this body's very comfortable and capable of doing that. This is the year of recovery. I know we're all going to continue to work collaboratively to do everything possible for our residents, to put our county in the best position, not only to keep our residents safe as we have been for a year and a half, but to catapult us into a new, more competitive environment in the future, to really help our economic development grow coming out of this recession. So anyway, that's where I am. I don't know if anybody else, Councilmember Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I do believe this is the time where we can reflect on this budget. I want to say that, I feel really I'm sorry.
Councilmember DeMar, are we at that point now, or can I just ask the staff, is there anything else we have to do on this amended budget?
No, we will follow up with the appropriate resolutions that will be acted on by the council formally next week, based on your straw votes today on the reconciled CIP. But I'm not aware of anything else the council has to do today regarding the CIP.
Okay, and or the operating budget. And Glenn, are you good?
Yeah.
This has been a fast-moving environment today. And so colleagues, I have a lot of requests to speak. Are these all for the remarks we traditionally give after we pass a straw vote to approve a budget, or is there any comments on the process or anything else we've done today? Seeing none. Okay, great. Well, then I'll begin. I'll try to be as brief as I can. Then I'll call on Council Vice President Albornoz and everyone else that's texted me. Is that fine? Eager to hear your feedback on the budget. Thank you, if you don't mind waiting, Councilmember Navarro. Okay, here we are. This year, folks, has been different than every other year we've been alive. We will vividly remember it, and we'll discuss it, and we'll debate it for decades. Our county has lost 1,500 of our souls to a deadly virus so far. Far too many of our families have lost loved ones here and across the world. Thousands of our workers have lost jobs. Small businesses that have succeeded for decades through the Great Recession are now gone, and many small business owners have lost their savings and their livelihoods. Far too many of our residents are still waiting for the state to send them their hard-earned income, their unemployment insurance, to help pay their bills. And many lie awake each night worrying about either eviction or foreclosure and the fate of their children moving forward in this economy. And in our world, county revenues cratered due to unemployment levels that we have not seen since the Great Depression, and social service needs of our residents were greater than ever. But we are unquestionably turning to a new and brighter and exciting chapter in our history. My parents served in World War II. That's the frame of reference that I grew up with, and it fundamentally shaped my view of public service and community responsibility. In World War II, our residents bought war bonds and grew victory gardens, and many, especially women who have never served in the workforce, went to work to build bombers and tanks. And during this historic pandemic, our residents, our county employees and local leaders pulled together to navigate a once-in-a-century global pandemic and the worst economic recession since the Depression. They donated to thousands of nonprofits. They distributed tens of thousands of meals. They volunteered thousands of hours to feed and serve and test and vaccinate our residents. We've come so far since January that it's easy to forget just 1 year ago, we not only had no vaccines, we were still fighting with other jurisdictions and even with FEMA to secure enough PPE to protect our firefighters when they were running COVID patients to the hospital, or our bus drivers from being exposed to our riders going to our essential workers going to work, potentially with a deadly virus. When we embarked on the budget this year, I said that over the year ahead, we would have the opportunity to recover and to rebuild a Montgomery County that is stronger and healthier and more prosperous and more equitable and more sustainable than the one we have today. And I still believe we cannot miss that opportunity. That's the path I believe we are on with the adoption of this budget. This budget is both responsive and it's responsible. It's responsive because it addresses the widespread needs of our residents, including many needs that have been unmet by the county government for years, including more mental health, more help for students, for housing, for transit riders, for pedestrians and cyclists, and for residents experiencing homelessness. And it's responsible. It doesn't raise taxes, it replenishes our reserves, and it sets us up to retain our AAA bond rating and positions us to continue our safe reopening and recovery, something we further codified with our 6th health order on Tuesday. The county executive, I know, sent us his best thoughts and his best ideas from his staff during a time of record uncertainty, but I am proud of this body because we took an all hands on deck approach in the last several months to ask the hard questions and address priorities and set our county on an even better path. And I want to thank outgoing President Sidney Katz for everything he shoulders last year to set us up for success. I want to thank Council Vice President and HHS Chair Gabe Albornoz for being a true partner in this work as we work together to fight COVID, and GO Committee Chair Navarro, who played an especially influential role managing the changes to our departments and to our budget. I want to thank each of you on the County Council, all my colleagues, and thank all of our staff for their hard work and their collaboration, including Marlene Michelson, Selena Singleton, Sonia Healy, and all of our policy and fiscal and racial justice analysts. And I'm very grateful to my staff, Chief of Staff Dave Kuhns, and our entire team, as well as all of your office staff as well. Without exception, they have been great partners under very difficult circumstances this whole year. I'm so proud of the work this institution has done collectively to meet our new challenges head on. The $6 billion operating budget doesn't give us just a roadmap through the next few months of this pandemic. It sets us up for long-term recovery and revitalization that awaits beyond the pandemic. So here are a few highlights. The budget provides a $25 million increase to the Working Families Income Supplement to provide direct support to the county's hardest working families. That makes our flat tax code more progressive. And research shows that our low-income workers will invest those dollars right back in our recovering local economy. As chair of the T&E committee, I want to thank my colleagues, council members Reamer and Glass, for their very thoughtful work. Among the committee's additions, I am most proud we provided an additional $250,000 for Safe Routes for School program to promote pedestrian safety among students. Thanks to Council Member Giwando for raising that. And I'm excited we're finally going to have the long discussed county-wide assessment of all of our schools so that we can make a big investment in Safe Routes to School in next year's full CIP budget. In addition, we improved on the CE's recommended budget by extending the Ride on Fare holiday to help our low-income riders at this important time, and extended the Seniors Ride Free program to all the hours of operation. Under the steady leadership of E&C Chair Rice, we were able to uphold our steadfast commitment to education, fully funding MCPS and Montgomery College, and adding additional funding to expand quality early care and educational opportunities for our youngest children and make the cost of childcare more accessible for all of our families. We've also allocated record funding to our DHHS, our Department of Human Health and Human Services, which has been right at the center of our COVID response to ensure their critical work continues and expands to help all of our residents access their services no matter what zip code they live in. I'm very excited about those programs. I'm grateful to the HHS committee. There's lots more I could say about that, but I'll leave it to the Council Vice President. With one exception, I'm particularly proud that we came together to build on something this council started last year with our mid-year special appropriation. I'm thrilled that we will fund 6 new social worker positions to increase the capacity of our mobile crisis teams, expanding mental health services and providing an alternative to police response for individuals experiencing a behavioral health crisis. And of course, our relief and recovery efforts wouldn't be complete without all the funding we allocated to our businesses and our local economy. We made significant investments in business assistance programs that'll help our economy recover and keep the lights on. I'm also very proud we increased the funding for the Office of Racial Equity and Social Justice in line with our commitment to enhance our staff training and ensure our policies and our procedures thoroughly examine and address our racial and social justice disparities. Much of this was made possible by our significant federal and state funding that Montgomery County received. I have to thank our federal and state delegation for their strong advocacy and partnership this year. Thank them all for fighting for Montgomery County, because we would not be positioned so well for recovery without all of their hard work. The council also stepped in, it's worth saying, to successfully negotiate an amicable end to hazard pay to fund salary and benefit increases for our invaluable county employees. We are so grateful to all of them for the sacrifices they made this year and for incredible hard work under challenging circumstances. We desperately needed this support to deal with the impact of the pandemic and to provide essential services. The funding has allowed us to hold the line on taxes and replenish our reserves so we can keep our AAA bond rating. This has probably been the most difficult capital budget we've ever had. There are still many unknowns this summer and fall due to the shifting state and federal funding environment, and we'll continue to actively monitor those changes in order to help take advantage of any potential federal and state funding changes going forward. We're very committed to working in partnership with our school system to make the changes that they anticipated as well. And we set a framework to return to other budget issues in a very responsible manner when we have definitive answers about our revenue picture. But still, this budget's a welcome sigh of relief after a year of unprecedented challenges. It updates our priorities. It puts us in a strong position for sustained fiscal recovery. And as I said at the beginning of the year, let this be the year of recovery. Thank you again to all of my colleagues, all of our staff, and everybody who worked on this budget. Council Vice President Albornoz.
Thank you. Well said, Mr. President. I'm going to defer to our GO Chair, Council Member Navarro, and then I'll go after her.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you.
Muy caballeroso, señor concejal Albornoz. Well, I believe that this is budgeting with empathy and innovation in a time of crisis. I want to begin by saying how fortunate I feel to share this virtual platform with all of you today, to be here to reflect on the past fiscal year and to look forward to recovery and reopening. The resiliency and courage displayed by our residents is truly commendable, and I want to take this opportunity to thank our residents for providing the inspiration to continue moving forward. There were many long days and nights that were spent with my staff and my colleagues confronting an unprecedented workload with so many real consequences. But no matter how challenging these days became, I reminded myself of what was really important. All the residents we lost to this dreadful disease, all the residents whose lives have been forever changed by this disease, and all those residents who were able to assist despite the challenges that we faced. I want to thank my office staff, my Chief of Staff, Roland Iquiloa, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Betha Sersosimo, Craig Wilson, who is one of my right hand, and Ben Price, who always holds the fort, for their unwavering support and dedication to this work. Our central staff and executive staff for going above and beyond before and during this pandemic. And of course, I want to thank you, Council President Hucker, Vice President Albornoz, Council Members Glass, Friedson, Rice, Reamer, Katz, and Jawando, for embodying the spirit of public service. Although the council office building was closed, we were able to hear from our residents virtually about their views on the budget in multiple languages, building upon our efforts from the last budget cycle to ensure that our residents could still interact with us, even though they could not join us physically. I hope that we can continue to build upon this format that has allowed for more diverse participation in our budget deliberations. I also want to thank the county executive for his budget recommendations, many of which are aligned with several of my priority areas. As a council, we were able to make sensible adjustments, which we believe puts us in prime position to rebound from the effects of this pandemic. As chair of the Government's Operation and Fiscal Policy Committee, I'm proud that despite our challenges, the county has been able to retain its AAA bond rating. Our county reserves now will be at 9.6% with a clear path towards reaching 10% as mandated in our fiscal plan by FY24. It has not been easy. Initial revenue projections were bleak, and throughout the course of the pandemic, it was not abundantly clear if we would be able to sustain a budget that would allow us to meet the critical needs and maintain our investments in strategic areas of the county. While this budget is better than what I anticipated, we must remember that our economy is just now starting to open up, and therefore uncertainty remains. Next fiscal year may or may not be better, so we must have realistic expectations and adjust accordingly. I am pleased that we were able to work in our GO committee with my colleagues and the executive to strengthen our public elections fund by funding and liaison and administrative assistant positions in the Office of Consumer Protection. I'm also proud of this committee's work in advancing the process of finalizing new reimbursement formulas that provide a more equitable share of tax revenue for municipalities that provide services like road maintenance, public safety, transportation. We were able to fully fund MCPS at Montgomery College, of course, under the able leadership of Councilmember Rice. And we provided $5 million more for early care and education initiative that I spearheaded back in 2019, increasing our total investment in this NDA to $14.3 million. Such an important investment, given that we are about to start opening back again, and so many parents need to rely on quality, affordable, and accessible childcare. Also, I am so proud of the investments that we have made in our racial equity and social justice process. This is a legislation that now is alive and well. And I'm particularly pleased that the County Executive Montgomery County Board of Education are beginning to be intentional about using this lens to craft their budgets. I'm pleased that we were able to provide additional resources and personnel for the Office of Racial Equity and Social Justice. Also, one of the really important areas, of course, is economic development. And I'm pleased that the adoption of the Economic Development Platform has served as a framework for many of our work here on the council. Two of the pillars of that platform, housing and transportation, are well represented in this budget. And I really do appreciate the leadership of Councilmember Hucker as well as Councilmember Reamer in making sure that those priorities remain. The record funding for affordable housing creation and preservation and strategic investments in our transportation network, with a significant focus on our commitment to Vision Zero, is a wonderful thing to see. I'm really, really happy that we have approved historic funding for our affordable housing efforts. Now, I know that this year has been tough, particularly on our seniors. Taking care of our seniors has been one of my priorities on the council, and that was particularly important to ensure that this population ages in place gracefully. And this is why I'm so proud that this council supported increased funding for recreation activities at 6 senior centers and the elimination of ride-on fares for seniors, as well as for persons with disabilities. Another innovation that arose from the pandemic was the creation of the consolidated service hubs, which are strategically located throughout the county. And that's another initiative that I supported because I know that this is the best practice that now we can maintain going forward. It will save us money in the long run, and I'm really pleased of the extraordinary energy around this process. I also want to say that this budget does respond boldly and robustly to the challenges we face, reaching many of our residents during the COVID-19 pandemic by funding multicultural communications upgrades and units that will make us more responsive to our residents now and in the future. We made investments that will allow us to continue to upgrade the county's technology infrastructure, which will help us to seamlessly adapt to the future demands for connectivity. The degree of empathy exhibited by this council can be seen in the funding for mobile health units to enhance mental health supports for our students, our county's network of primary care clinics to bring high quality, affordable health care for all residents, the expansion of summer and after school programs in communities that need it most, and our nonprofit providers and those serving our special needs population to have supports necessary to continue partnering with the county and providing essential services. However, we can do more, and we have committed to reviewing the needs of our residents on an ongoing basis throughout the coming fiscal year and making funding available as the need arises. I'm happy that we were able to fund reasonable raises for our hardworking county employees who have really stepped up to the challenge this past year and a half of bringing high quality services to our residents in the middle of a global pandemic and really, really sacrificing along the way. And regarding our CIP, yes, this is a different strategy, but it is not an unprecedented strategy. We have made decisions in the past adjusted to the realities on the ground. And I am hopeful, and I really am grateful to everyone for everyone's ability and willingness to push a little harder, understanding that it may be necessary to make adjustments that we may not like. But the truth of the matter is that actually we may be able to continue to fund all of those projects that we just approved as these new sources of funding become a reality. So I am glad that we were able to come together and get this done. So finally, I just want to thank all our county residents for their patience, generosity, and willingness to come together for the benefit of the community as a whole. This is what makes our county a wonderful place. Gracias.
Well, thank you, Chair Navarro, and thank you, Mr. Council President. You both stated that so beautifully. I'm going to try to get through this without getting emotional. I don't know that I will be able to because it's been obviously an extraordinarily emotional year. We have endured a period of tragedy, disorientation, frustration, and grief. Our public health systems have been challenged, and so has our local economy in ways that we never, frankly, could have imagined. Yet here we are, a year later, poised to emerge, growing back stronger, getting back to a normal way of life, and thanks to the incredible dedication of all of our county residents adhering to the county's health orders, and the relentless efforts of our county health team, led by our Department of Health and Human Services and all of our public health officials, our essential workers are just risking their lives to serve our most vulnerable populations. We have truly come together as a community in ways both big and small to get through this unprecedented time. Montgomery County has consistently ranked at the top of jurisdictions, not just in the state of Maryland, but around the country for a jurisdiction of our size, and kept our residents safe with low cases of test positivity rates, and now proudly in the percentage of vaccinations that we've been able to provide to our public. Our public health team and our HHS team have truly been heroic, and I especially want to thank Dr. Kroll, Dr. Gales, Dr. Stoddard, and all of the members of their respective teams who have answered all of our calls at all hours, who have addressed complex constituent issues and organizational issues in ways that are profound, and have done it while getting lots of attacks from a number of members of our community and through a variety of different sectors, but did it with pride and did it knowing that they were doing it to keep us all safe. Truly remarkable. And I know we are here to talk about the budget, but I also want to thank especially our residents who have understood that this has been an extraordinary challenge and a heavy lift. We, sitting as the Board of Health, have done our best to adjust to this time by allocating resources to stand up the hubs, to help our economy, to help our small local businesses, and in a variety of different sectors. And I never could have imagined, as the chair of our county's Health and Human Services Committee, what would have transpired this last year. There have been countless meetings and discussions and debates, frankly, about how best to address this pandemic. But it has been such an honor to serve in that capacity, along with my colleagues, council members Rice and Glass, who have been tremendously patient with me and have answered all of my calls at all hours. And I've appreciated your guidance. I've appreciated your leadership. And I can't imagine having done any of this without both of you and frankly, all of my colleagues at various points. With the help of federal resources, we've been able to really get through not just this budget, but this last year. I really especially want to thank the leadership of President Biden and our federal delegation, who have been tremendous partners throughout this entire pandemic, not just providing federal resources, but helping troubleshoot at all times and address all issues. We've dedicated millions of dollars, thanks to that federal aid, to assist with basic needs such as food and housing. And we've targeted funds for daycare to our medical and dental communities to make sure they could preserve through this uncertain time. And in the early days of the pandemic, we provided over $26 million to small local businesses, standing up a process in record time to be able to address their needs. And that has obviously expanded since then. And I was reflecting the other day, and this is, there have been so many heroes. And I loved early on when we acknowledged heroes in our community. And the first person that I acknowledged was Dr. Mike Greenberg. He's one of many angels, such as Grace Rivera Oven and so many others that have stepped up in such heroic ways this last year. But at one point, Dr. Greenberg and his wife, into the wee hours of the morning, out of trash bags and anything that they could get their hands on, were making PPE for service providers to our developmental disability community when we couldn't get our hands on the most basic products that we needed to keep our community members and our constituents, especially those most vulnerable, safe. What Mike did was remarkable, and that is just such a strong example of how so many people have stepped forward in this last year. I also want to especially thank our minority health initiatives and programs. Por Nuestra Salud y Bienestar is one of my proudest moments, and I know it is for Council Member Navarro as well, as we came together quickly in a matter of weeks to stand up a heroic effort, which I think is going to outlast all of us. And I also want to thank Council Members Jawando and Rice for their leadership in our African American community for quickly standing up that initiative as well, which also stands a strong chance of growing and helping address the public health disparities that existed prior to the pandemic once and for all. I next want to highlight some items in the budget that I'm especially proud of within our HHS committee, where we were able to double the amount of provider administrative expenses for our nonprofit providers, which, as we know, are not just an extension of our county government, but our partners in helping to strengthen our social safety net. I also, and to expand those contracts to departments that have contracts through recreation, as well as housing and community affairs, was also very important. We increased the developmental disability supplement. We increased the adult mental daycare supplement. We provided health care for the homeless. We added health care for the homeless fund. We added funds for care for kids. We were able to initiate our county's dental program. Special credit to Councilmember Rice for taking a lot of interest in that issue, which is a fundamental issue and one that's very important moving forward. And of course, we spent a half an hour acknowledging Mental Health Awareness Month and Every Mind and all of the incredible organizations that are in that space, because we're just now coming into focus the needs that are going to be necessary in that space coming out of this. And I do want to thank the Council President and his partnership in standing up our mobile health clinics and our mobile crisis clinics, which the county executive, to his credit, expanded as well. We did fully fund MCPS and Montgomery College, and there is no question that our public health and community leaders have sustained Montgomery County through this most critical time during the pandemic. This especially holds true for our first responders and emergency response teams. And I want to thank Chairman Katz and our Public Safety Committee for all they've done in their efforts to help ensure public safety for all of our county residents. With respect to our emergency response and coordination, the council unanimously approved funding to add 2 full-time positions to our Office of Emergency Management. We also have stood up funding for so many departments and agencies, especially our Office of Human Rights, which finally received some additional supports and funds to get staff support that they so sorely needed. So we've come a long way. And the last 2 items that I want to mention are the Working Families Income Supplement. And I want to thank Councilmember Navarro for co-leading that effort and all of my colleagues for unanimously co-sponsoring, making sure that we provide additional resources to families. And with that, families are going to receive that qualify about $907. And because of our efforts, every county resident, regardless of where they came from or their status, will be able to receive those funds as well. And I am especially proud that we were able to address the municipal tax issue in a way that's meaningful and that pushes us forward. This budget represents so much hope. And finally, I want to thank Susan Farag, Linda McMillan, and Vivian Yao in particular for your efforts through both the HHS and Public Safety Committee. And last but way not least, my team. Whew. I have leaned so heavily on all of you this last year. I could not have gotten through this. Both Joy, Lily, Maida, and Beth, the hours spent just dealing with constituent issues, preparing budgets, tackling really complex issues. Just such an amazing team. You guys are family. You're family. So thank you all so much. I yield back to you, Mr. President. This does represent so much hope on so many different levels, and I just am so proud to serve with all of you. Thanks. That was long-winded, but couldn't help it.
Likewise, Councilmember Katz.
Thank you very much. Thank you for going to make me cry, Mr. Council Vice President. And of course, Councilmember Jawando likes to tease me about that, but anyhow, he and I have been there as well. You know, thank you. When the council received the budget from the county executive this year, I heard it referred to as the Magic Beans budget. I've referred to it as the Magic Beans budget. We are certainly in a much better place fiscally than we had anticipated. Although this is a good thing, it is fleeting. The federal aid from the American Rescue Plan Act, referred to all of us as the ARPA funds, as well as special appropriations from the state, are contributing to our better than expected, and it is, situation. These stars will not all align this way in subsequent years. I hope they do, but I think there's a reality. And therefore, we should be grateful, yet cautious. That said, we have accomplished some very good things in this budget. As chair of the Public Safety Committee, serving with President Hucker and Vice President Albernaz, I am pleased that as a part of the budget for the Montgomery County Police Department, we are able to add funding for 12 recruits for the incoming winter class. This will help balance the anticipated increase in retirements. The 2 sergeant positions added in the Internal Affairs Division are necessary to address their overwhelming workload. It is also reassuring that the other public safety departments fared well in this FY22 budget. As a member of the Government Operations Committee, I want to publicly thank Chair Navarro on all of her efforts, especially on finally bringing the municipal tax duplication discussion to a conclusion, of which we have been discussing for years. And I'm proud to serve on that committee with Councilmember Friedson as well. As the council representative for many youth and many seniors, including Leisure World, Asbury, and the villages of Rockville, to mention a few, I am delighted that we are providing funds to holistically support students and seniors as they begin their cognitive and social, emotional recoveries past COVID-19. In addition, this budget delivers a well-deserved inflationary increase to the nonprofit sector. These organizations have been on the ground doing the nitty-gritty work of keeping our most vulnerable residents safe, housed, fed, and educated. County government could not function without our nonprofit partners. Throughout this budget, the county executive and county council also highlight the importance of supporting providers who serve individuals with developmental disabilities. These staff are everyday heroes and deserve to be treated as such. We are also marching towards meeting our housing targets for very low low, and middle income residents with an investment of over $89 million for affordable housing production, preservation, support for rental assistance, and homeownership programs, and community-based services. Most importantly, all of this work is being done with a racial equity and social justice framework. I am proud of the increased investments we are making in multicultural communications and Black, Indigenous people of color, also known as BIPOC, health initiatives, to name a few. I am grateful that this budget provides funding for mass transit projects, such as Bus Rapid Transit, BRT, to get our residents to where they need to go. Mass transit is an efficient, safe, economic, and environmentally friendly way to move around our county. Moreover, bikeways, trails, and parks provided needed relief during this past year. So many people took advantage of the great outdoors, even during the cold winter months. This is something that I hope will continue long after the pandemic. I applaud the funding of the bikeways projects, as well as the funding of the entire park system in our county. I would say our park system is the unsung hero of the past year. I'm a strong advocate for economic development in Montgomery County. Tomorrow, I will conclude my business briefings with the 20th installment. We need economic development to provide good paying jobs for our residents. I thank the Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, MCEDC, for their exemplary work to attract and retain businesses in our county. This needs to continue and expand, and with the help of all of our partners, I look forward to this becoming a reality. We have weathered another stormy year, but we can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. There was a time I couldn't even see the tunnel. I want to publicly thank Lisa and the entire staff from my office, and Marlene and the entire staff from the County Council Central staff for always being there for all of us. Thank you to the leadership of Council President Hucker and Council Vice President Albornoz and all of my colleagues, Councilmember Friedson, Councilmember Glass, Councilmember Tawando, Councilmember Navarro, Councilmember Rice, and Councilmember Reamer. And to all of your residents, you all have proven it does take a village to make certain that we remain one family. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Katz. Councilmember Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Council President. And so, reflecting on this past year, I'm really proud of this county council, in our nimbleness, our ability to be able to respond to this ever-changing pandemic crisis that was before us. And the reason why I'm so proud is because people stood up. You had everyday citizens who did everything they could imaginable to help their fellow man. They stood up and faced these unprecedented needs that were there in our community and made it very clear that we all were one Montgomery. County government, community organizations, individuals helped to create countywide food hubs, ensuring that impacted communities had food on their table and other essential services. Our hubs that we have throughout the county did an amazing job of not only standing up initially what was food, but ended up being all the wraparound services that an individual might need to feel cared for, protected, and stood up. Our health initiatives in our communities of color and our health program took COVID-19 head on through critical outreach and support in COVID testing, setting up vaccination sites and appointments, and delivering services and resources to some of our communities most in need. We talked about the impacts on our communities of color, both from a health perspective as well as from an economic perspective. Many of us have seen it firsthand in our own families and our friend circles, and certainly ones in which we know that helping hand was not only needed, but made a difference in people's lives. There were so many giving, selfless acts that abounded here in Montgomery County, whether it was individuals creating their own homemade masks, as you heard before, or folks like the vaccine hunters or teenagers making sure that they could help vulnerable senior citizens and others secure very scarce vaccine appointments. The reality is that we came together, all of us, to make sure that the needs were met. And as chair of the Education and Culture Committee, it's obvious that MCPS and Montgomery College have been and remain critical partners in meeting the needs of our students and families, especially during this pandemic, pivoting and stepping up to provide free meal distribution sites, free Wi-Fi access, and outreach to support their various communities. Both of these entities rose during this occasion, during this pandemic, through their quick shift and creation of distance learning models that, of course, required new curriculum and training and logistical support to staff, students, and their families. But in addition, our one county site that was a statewide site for vaccinations was at our own Montgomery College in Germantown. Could we not be more proud of the great things that we've seen that have happened in our educational spaces? Of course, I'm proud of the continued commitment and prioritization of education and understand the value that our educational institutions bring. They are the basis of our success. We know it, whether it's economic development, whether it's public safety, whether it's workforce development, all of those things that we know are so important to our community start with education. And so I'm really proud to see that this year we fully funded both the MCPS and Montgomery College budget request. For MCPS, that meant providing additional supports to combat learning loss, investment in technology to ensure access to virtual learning, enhanced summer learning programming that many of us are taking advantage of right now, and additional provisions of mental health and social and emotional supports for both students and staff alike. For Montgomery College, it allows for no increase in tuition. And I again want to thank those great students who I met with who made it very clear that any single dollar of increase would be something that would be a challenge for students in this ever changing and ever challenging time. And so it also allowed for us to make sure that innovative workforce development training and accelerated courses were there for folks through the Montgomery College system. And of course, the continued partnership within MCPS and the county allowed us to make sure that Montgomery Can Code and the Innovation Hub move forward. I can't tell you how excited I am about what that potential holds for the relationship between Apple and Montgomery County. So both of our beloved institutions will say goodbye to their staunch, dedicated leaders this year. And really, we already thanked Dr. Jack Smith, our superintendent of Montgomery County Public Schools, and Dr. Darian Pollard, our president of Montgomery College, for their service and long-lasting impact they've made on not only their students, but on the residents of Montgomery County. But one of the things that I did want to say just in closing regarding Montgomery County Public Schools is that many of us who are parents, those of us who have children in the system, know that this was not easy. It was not an easy road for anyone, but one in which the leaders took it head on and tried to do the best we could with what we've had. The same thing that we did here on this council. And I really want to applaud the leadership, both the Board of Trustees for Montgomery College and the Board of Education, led by Ms. Brenda Wolf with Montgomery County Public Schools. You guys were amazing and really, truly continued to try and do everything that you could to ensure that everyone still had access to high quality levels of education. Now, this pandemic impacted our community in so many ways, but our arts community actually got hit especially hard. The stage went dark for over a year, and our artists and arts organizations suffered tremendously. Our county stepped into action to ensure grants were awarded so that our arts community could pay for their operating supports and just hang on. And I'm happy that we were able to fund the county executive's recommended Arts and Humanities Council budget and commit to finding additional ways to help them through continued economic recovery, including additional funds for our public arts trust that we know means so much, not only to the artists, but to our greater community as a whole. I want to thank you, Mr. President, for your able leadership through this budget season. This hasn't been hard. This hasn't been easy. It's been incredibly hard. And I can tell you that being a former president, the job is tough in any year. But this certainly is one where it was incredibly challenging. And with so many moving parts, it was fortunate that you had the experience in dealing with Annapolis, that you had relationships at the federal level that helped to actually guide us through a lot of the deliberations that we had. I also want to thank my colleagues on the Education and Culture Committee, both Nancy Navarro and Will Juando, and just thank them for their hard work, their dedication, their continued support, but more importantly, their friendship. It is one of those things that I always touted in Annapolis and said that it was so great to have friends and have colleagues who had your back. That was something, and Council President Hucker knows all too well that we pride ourselves in Annapolis. I'm happy to say I have that here. You guys are family. So thank you. You know, it's times like this that getting through a pandemic can highlight the weaknesses or showcase your resiliency and strength. I knew I was going to lose it here. We're 7 days away from my chief of staff passing away 2 years ago. And when I think back and I look at what we've been able to accomplish, I always think to myself, what would Steve have said? What would he have said to evaluate what it was we did? Because Steve wasn't shy. You guys all know about talking about the council and what he thought that we should do as a whole, not just me. And I have to tell you that he'd be proud. He'd be proud of our community, proud of our residents, proud of each and every one of you, because we lifted ourselves up. We supported each other, and we got through this together. We not only proved how strong we each are in being able to stand up to this pandemic, but we also proved just how strong Montgomery County is. And so I thank each and every one of you. I thank my Chief of Staff, Sharon Ledner, Daniela Moya-Gaber, Rose Taylor, Kristen Tribble in my office. They are my agents of Quan, my reference to one of the favorite movies of all time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well played, Councilmember. Councilmember Friedson.
Thank you, Council President, Councilmember Rice. I guess this is where we're showing the money. So appreciate that. Appreciate your warm tribute to your former Chief of Staff, who we all miss. And I just wanted to make sure that I noted that not just his contributions to you, but to all of us at the council and to the entire county. Thank you, Council President Hucker, Council Vice President Albernaz, and all of our colleagues for your work through this budget review process and for all of your contributions to the proposed budget before us. These are extremely challenging times, and this fiscal year 22 budget will address critical needs in our community. I'm proud to have advocated for and supported amendments to this budget that will increase social safety net services provided by county government and by our nonprofit partners, support for developmental disability service providers, and much needed resources for mental health services, emergency care, and so many other top priorities. This budget fully funds our school system in an absolutely crucial moment as we are confronted with the increased disparities and social emotional impacts of this pandemic, and are fully committed to working with the Board of Education and MCPS leadership for a full return to in-person instruction. The budget holds the line on property taxes at a time when many individuals and families continue to face financial difficulty and uncertainty. And it does so with an improved property tax structure we proposed last fall together, and that county voters overwhelmingly supported on their ballots, that will allow us to take full advantage of economic growth without raising tax rates. Despite challenges and a tight capital budget, changes we've made will accelerate transportation infrastructure that will support modern, transit-oriented, and vibrant communities and lay a foundation for future economic growth. But despite the good in this budget, and there is plenty of it, I remain very concerned about our ability to afford it beyond this year. The budget we are about to approve meets most of the crucial needs we face today, but it may very well inhibit our ability to meet the moments to follow. It avoids many of the tough fiscal decisions that will only get more challenging the longer we wait to address them. I recognize how difficult it would have been to dismantle a budget recommended by the county executive that violates many of our established fiscal policies and to dramatically scale back many of the public promises that were already made. But this budget is balanced on an unprecedented influx of federal aid that isn't likely to be funded again. It funds programs, positions, and compensation increases that will be asked and expected to continue in future years without the benefit of another round of hundreds of millions of dollars in federal relief. It diverts $15.5 million away from a capital budget that is already stretched and grows tax-supported county spending at more than 5 times the rate of actual tax revenues expected to support it. It's important to note that the budget that is only balanced for 1 year isn't structurally balanced at all. Despite those serious reservations, there was only one budget before us today. To vote against this would be to vote against too many positive programs and priorities we all share that are funded in it. Ultimately, this may not have been the budget I would have crafted, but this isn't a body of one, it's a body of 9. And so I cast my vote earlier today, the straw vote, and will cast my formal vote next week in support. We began this budget process by updating and recommitting to our fiscal policies to protect the long-term fiscal health and sustainability of Montgomery County. And I truly appreciate all of the hard work so many colleagues have put into crafting those policies, especially my colleagues on the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee, Chair Navarro and Councilmember Katz. After approving this budget, it will be more imperative than ever that we work to implement these fiscal policies and continue that work to reform our budget processes and address the financial health and sustainability of county government, so we can fund the services urgently needed by so many in our community and to reach our broader quality of life, racial equity, environmental, and economic development goals. These challenges aren't going away, and neither are the needs. In fact, they are both mounting. I know we all recognize that, and the longer we wait, the harder and more painful those choices will be. Thank you again to council colleagues, and thank you to the residents, nonprofit leaders, and business leaders who provided their input on this fiscal year 22 budget. Thank you also to our central staff for your hard work and all of your tireless efforts, and to my office staff, Cindy, Aaron, Matt, Angela, and Eric, for your terrific work in a year that has presented unprecedented challenges. With appreciation to my colleagues and looking ahead to much work that we have before us, I yield back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Reamer.
Thanks very much. My colleagues have made a lot of important points and talked about some of the broader themes of this incredible, difficult year with the impact of COVID and everything we've been struggling through. It has felt that everything has turned on its head more than 1 or 2 times over the last year. So that's just been an incredibly difficult environment to work through. And I have to say, I'm amazed that we're here today able to vote on a budget that contains largely good news and improvements and enhancements. I think there was really no way to expect that as a possibility a year ago. Just the opposite. I think a year ago we were concerned that we were heading into something that could be a catastrophic economic recession and with no end in sight. So I have felt all along that in many ways this is Joe Biden's budget, and I don't often like to sound a partisan note, but I have to say that the Biden-Harris administration, the Democrats in Congress have provided us with more than just a lifeline. Today, we would be here without the support that we receive from the federal government. We would be here reconciling nothing but dismal choices, and we would have nothing but frustrated and unhappy residents, and the community would be tearing it at itself. And instead, we are here today, stable. I think on the very positive front, our reserves have a stable outlook for the next several years, and that is positive. And we are even able to expand and improve on programs in modest but targeted ways. So I am just grateful and appreciative for that. I do share the concerns about using one-time revenue for ongoing expenses. We will see how this evolves, and our work is never done. But I think it's appropriate for us to recognize that there are longer-term issues here that are yet unresolved. But very broadly, I am grateful that we're able to once again fully fund MCPS. That has always been my highest priority, and it's been great to be able to work with you, each of you on the council. I think now Chairman Rice will probably be able to cite the number better than me, but I think it might be 5 out of the last 6 budgets that are 100%, something like that. Maybe it's 4 out of the last 5 of the school system's request. And I feel we're doing the right thing there. And of course, we don't have any tax increases in this budget, as has been reserved. I think that's important in this uncertain time. People appreciate that. Some of the specific improvements that others have mentioned, but I just wanted to thank my colleagues for supporting the proposals that I put forward for free ride-on for seniors and people with disabilities, which is a very targeted way for us to proceed with fair elimination. Looking at a broader conversation about fair policy in general, but I think to be able to move now to provide free fares for seniors and people with disabilities is a terrific step forward. It's going to be really appreciated. And the accelerated electrification of the ride-on fleet to be able to add 5 more electric buses that will be in an up-county depot and will be serving the up-county community is a good step forward for us on climate policy. We need to be doing more, of course, on climate. We funded the parks program fully, as I think Councilmember Katz said, the unsung hero, or something along those lines. The park system have been so valued and appreciated. And our planning department, we have funded a number of really strategic projects that we hope will guide our work and we'll be able to bring to fruition over the next few years. Particularly grateful about the additional funding, nearly $2 million that we have added to accelerate the reopening of our recreation department programs. We talked about a summer surge of after school and summer camp and out of school time programming. And we've been able to put some real money behind that, both for programs provided by the rec department as well as community program providers, nonprofits or even for-profits that provide these services to kids. And as our kids are coming out of what has been a disappointing year, to say the least, to be able to have a chance to have access to some programming this summer and even into the fall, I think is going to be very welcome, we'll say that. And to add 2 more Excel Beyond the Bell programs is thrilling. Yet another step forward. And hat tip to Councilmember Albornoz for his work over the years on this, but all my committee colleagues for strong support for Excel Beyond the Bell, joint committee colleagues, Excel Beyond the Bell is committee, and then anyway, you know what I mean. Love you all. We've added between 2 and 4 every year for the past 5 years now. I think we're up to maybe 14 more sites. So it is applause worthy. that's a lot of children. You know, we're, I don't know, well over 1,000 children being served every day, will be served every day this coming year. Could be close to 2,000 children. So that is awesome. Really thrilled to see the Kid Museum taking a step forward with its new site, expanding, adding a site to its portfolio. We look forward to growing that around the county, and want to note the additional seniors programs, the additional funding for rec department provided seniors programs. Our seniors, many of them have been struggling with social isolation throughout this pandemic, and I know when they can walk back in those doors and start to see their friends again, they're going to be so happy, and glad that we are able to support that. I want to highlight our difficult but necessary conversation about the county executive's proposed community resource officer program, and I think the budget reflects our common ground that police officers will not be stationed in schools, and does not explicitly approve the CRO program either. So we are continuing to work on that. That'll be, an ongoing project as we proceed. And also want to just give a big shout out for the Working Families Income Supplement, the match to the EITC. It's one of the most important things we do. It directly benefits the lowest income taxpayers, and it is a proven progressive policy. And as the author of the legislation that put us on a track to a 100% match of the EITC from the state here at the local level, I was concerned that the original budget we received might not include that funding this year. I was really grateful that it did. It would have been a very difficult lift to try to put it in. I'm sure we would have, but to see it fully funded is just such an important part of our progressive tax and social policy. And I think we've taken a massive step forward this year. So we also, as has been mentioned, the affordable housing funding, we are rolling with the housing production fund that the Housing Opportunities Commission has, and we approved the executive's new short-term financing fund. So we are taking some big strides on housing funding and construction of affordable housing. I'm really pleased by that. And the capital budget, I think enough has been said today about the capital budget. But there's a lot of important projects in there, and we'll work to keep them moving forward. So thank you. Great work to everybody, and look forward to keeping to work with you.
Thank you. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, Mr. President. This has been a year unlike any other, and the pandemic that ripped through our community, causing great pain for so many. But being the community that we are, we came together, and our county workforce stepped up, and we are getting through it together. From rising food insecurity to economic distress, the pandemic exacerbated the socioeconomic differences in our community, and it required us to put together a budget that reflected the real-time needs and plan for an equitable recovery, requiring us to support our residents by keeping them healthy, safe, fed, housed. These are the basic functions of government, and they're covered in our budget. And this budget is supported by governments at all levels, from the federal government, and yes, thank you, President Biden and our federal delegation, to our state government, and yes, thank you, Governor Hogan and members of the General Assembly. And I especially want to thank Council President Hucker and Councilmember Katz, then Council President Katz, for your steady leadership during this challenging fiscal year. It was also a challenge for so many in our community who were looking for a safe place to be. because we know that the safest place to be for anybody was inside a safe home. And as the council's lead for homelessness and vulnerable communities, I am extremely pleased that this budget does a bunch of different things, including expanding the county's rental assistance program, boosting monthly supplements from $200 to $400 a month. And that is the first time that the monthly assistance payments have been increased in the program's 20-year history. And so I really appreciate working with Fed Committee Chair Reamer and HHS Committee Chair Vice President Albornoz and our fellow Joint Committee members Rice, Drowando, and Friedson for making that happen. Looking ahead, this budget continues to focus on and prioritize our most vulnerable and low-income residents with the creation of a homeless court docket and the expansion of mobile crisis teams so that we continue our efforts here to make sure that homelessness is rare, brief, and non-recurring. And we also know that the pandemic has changed so many aspects of our lives, not only the way we operate, the way we do business, but the way we govern. And while residents, many residents were able to work from home and telecommute over the last year, not everybody had that benefit, especially our frontline and essential workers, to whom I am eternally grateful, recognizing that their need to get to work because they had no other options helped us adopt a policy where we eliminated fares for ride-on buses. And that policy also came about because we wanted to maintain the safety of our hardworking bus drivers, for whom I also express my appreciation. And as we continue our push toward transit equity, we took another step in eliminating fares for more residents. And I appreciate Councilmember Reamer's proposal to make bus fares free for seniors and individuals with disabilities, recognizing their dependence on public transportation. And it was also a pleasure working with Councilmember Rice and all of my colleagues on successfully advocating that ride-on remain free through October 1st. And while my individual proposal to have fares made free for the entire system was a bit too costly for this constrained budget, I think it does provide a route for us to chart in the years ahead as we continue moving forward with transit equity. And speaking of routes, we also provide more funding to ensure students have safe routes to schools with the increased funding thanks to Councilmember Drowando and my T&E colleagues, Chair Hucker and Reamer. This budget also does a lot of good for the environment as it increases funding so that we can purchase more electric buses, which is a critical component to meeting our climate goals, because we know that emissions from the transportation sector make up the second largest source of pollution here in Montgomery County. And the environmental programs also enhance backyard composting so that we can further reduce our waste stream here in Montgomery County. I also want to extend my appreciation to the GO committee for their work, especially their efforts to stand up the county's public financing system, which will begin in earnest being used in the next few months. And so I appreciate the committee strengthening that program and a special appreciation for Chair Navarro for her work there and for the legislation that she'd previously passed to strengthen that program, which is now fully funded. During this year, one of my refuges was the outdoors and our magnificent park system. And it was really one of the only ways where I was able to get fresh air when off of our Zoom meetings, countless Zoom meetings, and get some fresh exercise as well. And I appreciate the Parks Department's creativity and nimbleness to rethink how people enjoy our green spaces and our greenways. And I appreciate Councilmember Friedson's leadership as the lead for parks, and also enjoyed our site visits throughout the year to see how the parks were accommodating the new needs. And with regard to the capital budget, the place we landed today, I think, is a good one, recognizing the unique funding opportunities at the state and federal level to support our schools and our infrastructure. It is an optimistic approach, but I will share that this glass is half full. So looking back, I am proud of everything that we really have done here as a council, for council staff, and appreciate the original budget that was sent over by the executive. And I'm in my office. I look forward to seeing more of us in the Capitol, in the council building. And when you come into my office, there is a sign by the door that says, "We rise by lifting up others." And that has been my motto from day one since joining the council. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my team who shares that same motto. So I just want to thank Valeria and Bianca, Sean, David, Noah, Dory, and Alex, because their dedication to helping our residents is what public service is all about. And so in closing, across the board, Montgomery County residents over this last year have shown remarkable spirit, remarkable passion, and dedication. And we have been getting through this together. And this budget provides them with the best services possible so that we can begin building back better. And with that, thank you very much, Mr. President. I yield back.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Jawani.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think Councilmember Glass has a new title for his monthly report. I want to see the glass half full. Well, thank you. Bringing up the rear here, and I won't be long, but we did it, which is amazing. And if you want to know what the we is, and the we is us collectively, our residents, our staff, both personal and central, our county government employees, we did it. This is a tremendous accomplishment. And the it is we passed not one, but two budgets in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, in the midst of an economic fallout that we haven't seen in our lifetimes, in the midst of a racial reckoning following the killings and murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, Fanon Burhay, and so many others. We did this. I echo the thanks to the President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, to Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, and to the Governor and our state legislature, Speaker Jones, and Leader President Ferguson, and all of our delegation. This is a much better budget, and these remarks are more jovial than they would have been if not for all of those individuals stepping up and passing the CARES Act and passing the rescue plan and providing critical and fighting for critical support. Our congressional delegation, Congressman Trone and Sarbanes and Raskin and Cardin and Van Hollen, for all they did to push and put us on a foundational track for recovery and gave us a chance. I want to thank my colleagues. Each and every one of you has stepped up in areas of expertise and care and concern. And you heard it displayed in all the items that were highlighted that are in this budget and many, many more that weren't. I want to thank our central staff who's worked right up to the wire today, to get us what we need so that we can do our job on behalf of the residents that we're elected to serve. I want to thank my staff, and we've had a rocky road these last few weeks. Cecily Thorne, my chief of staff, and all of my staff, Pam, Luckett, Seamus, LaTroy, who started up, Lily. We've had people in and out again, and it's been tough, but everyone has stepped up for each other. So I just really want to thank you all for that. And I want to thank our county employees. You have stepped up in ways immeasurable. Many have gotten sick. Several have lost their lives, but you've stepped up, and really this budget, most of it funds you and the services you provide through programs for our residents. And you've stepped up in big ways, and you haven't missed a beat. And we're thankful that in this budget as well, that's recognized as we've funded contracts and allowed for appropriate increases. This budget lays a great foundation for recovery. And we have an opportunity coming out of it to really have an equitable recovery. There's much more work to do, obviously, but it does lay a strong, strong foundation. So just reflecting on some of the things we did in this budget, in this year, we declared racism a public health crisis, naming a root cause for the deep inequities and disparities that this pandemic has shown. And we took action in this budget, implementing the bill that we passed, led by Councilmember Navarro on racial equity and social justice, in looking in a real way for the first time. And we need to go deeper, but at racial equity in these items, as we've stood up our own capacity on both sides of the street in the executive and in the council. We've set up these regional hubs, which we're all so excited about, where you have institutions that have been doing the work for decades and some that gave out their first bag of groceries a year ago, who now are feeding thousands, providing diapers, COVID-19 tests, and vaccinations. These hubs have served as critical resources to our residents and will continue to do so into the future. We fund those in this budget. We fully funded, as was mentioned, our school system in Montgomery College and recognize the important role they play and have played as our students and families deal with the anxiety and the stress and the learning loss and the mental health issues of this last year. And we've stepped up and recognized that in their budget and want to thank them for all their work. We funded, as was mentioned, double funded safe routes to schools to ensure that our students, when we go back to full capacity in the fall, can safely return. And we put us on a plan to nearly cut in half the time it's going to take to assess and fix our routes and walk sheds leading up to our schools. We funded WorkSource Montgomery so they can continue their important work to partner with the county and our local businesses and our state and nonprofits to connect residents to employment, which we know is going to be so critical as we come out of this recession and as we come out with so many people who are unemployed. We also funded a big shout out for the $185,000 and maybe more to Summer Rise, a program I had the honor to stand up a few years ago as our students get work-based learning experiences this summer. And Councilmember Reamer mentioned, and others have mentioned, the expanded summer surge for after-school programs with our recreation department and community partners that is going to be needed now more than ever. We funded 6 new mobile crisis units as alternatives to police response when we have residents who are dealing with mental health crises or behavioral health crises. And we've committed to police-free schools as we continue our efforts to reimagine our public safety system and eliminate the disproportionate and unnecessary police interactions that lead, unfortunately, sometimes to death and to a lowering of trust in our communities. We restored funding to the 21st Century Library Enhancement Program. And as our libraries open on June 1st on a phased capacity, we will be trying out and continuing to innovate in the area of Open Plus, which will allow our libraries to be open in non-traditional hours. And we plussed up that funding because we know our libraries are going to be so important as we work to recover and as a community gathering spot into this next year. And in line finally with the unusual year that it's been, as we dealt with the CIP today, it was an example of the sausage making. And despite strong projected growth by the Federal Reserve, this budget really isn't over. Inequality, we know, has deepened over the last year, and many of our residents still face a very uncertain economic future. So appropriately, we will be reviewing and adding budget items throughout the summer, maybe into the fall, as we continue to make critical investments as funds are available to help us truly have an equitable recovery for all of our residents and for our economy. And that's going to be critical. So I look forward to, along with all of my fellow colleagues, I want to give a special shout out to Councilmember Rice and to the SWAG, the Student Wellness Advisory Group, which is one example of these investments that we have all committed to making when they come back and tell us what our students need in place of police, in addition to feeling safe and whole, physically, emotionally, socially, the supports we need to make in their schools. That's one example of something we've all committed to coming back and doing. So much work remains. I know I'm confident that we can meet those challenges. And this budget lays a great foundation. I want to thank the county executive as well for a starting point and thank all my colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any final thoughts, anyone? Are we good? Councilmember Jwanda's right. We did it. Good work. We have a budget. We have a capital budget. I hope you get a little more rest tonight, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
7-4.